problem!
Jeez, I can't get any peace and quiet around here. Sir, We Have an Orc Problem is an incremental tower defense game that came out July 28th of this year, and it is so close to being perfect, but we'll get into that. First, the basics. For those of you who don't know, an incremental game is a game built on the numbers basic. Small numbers become big numbers get bigger, neuron activation. Sir, We Have an Orc Problem makes that the whole gameplay loop.
But sir, how are we supposed to stop them?
I'm glad you asked, Private. Like every other tower defense game, here you need to set up defenses on various maps to stop an oncoming horde of enemies. If enough enemies get through and deplete your lives, the women and children all die.
What?
Why are you still here, Private? But unlike most tower defense games, when you place a tower in this game, they don't get a radius for your tower to automatically target anything within that radius. You have to choose where they fire, and they will only fire within that range regardless of whether there's enemies or not. You start out with some pretty pathetic towers, but as you play, this starting skill tree will eventually become this, and you'll be mowing down baddies by the thousands. Speaking of, let's talk about the Greenskins. The orcs in this game don't pick a nice little path to walk down single file. They're dropped onto the map and flow down the path of least resistance like a liquid. This does make it unique compared to its peers because you can control the flow without orcs passing through each other or anything like that. They have to push and shove their way past each other like the filthy animals they are. But this does represent one of the more interesting aspects of this game, and that is you're basically fighting a liquid, which you can manipulate and or blow up with the tools of the trade. In this game you get a total of 7 towers, and thankfully none of them are useless. The devs did a good job making sure every tower is worth using. It really just comes down to placement. Every tower is pretty self-explanatory as well. The machine gun is a general purpose tower that, well, machine guns. The mortar is good for AoE damage when the orcs crowd up. The cannon plows through hordes like a fat bitch rolling downhill. The flamer works just as God intended. The laser passes through enemies and bounces off walls. The grenade launcher fires gas grenades, and the Tesla tower is the only tower that automatically targets orcs around it. Multiple of these towers can change how the orcs move though. The mortars can break up thick crowds, the cannons can split a horde right down the middle, and the Tesla tower can shock orcs into running the wrong way, sometimes actively pushing against others. Watching this all unfold makes it so much more satisfying than watching a single file of green march towards your base. It really makes you feel like you're slaughtering them by the thousands. The tens of thousands. Millions. Then each tower has its own branch of the skill tree that drastically improves their performance, whether it be through damage, fire rate, area of effect, range, etc. You can also use more rare resources to grant your towers basically perks or just massive upgrades, such as enemies on fire taking more damage from other sources or upgrading your machine gun rate of fire by 5 instead of the usual 0.2.
Sir, our defense towers aren't enough. We need heavy ordnance.
Well, if you just shut the fuck up, Private, I was getting to that. While your towers work automatically, you have multiple upgradable skills you can manually target as well, and these will drop the greenskins by the thousands. Personally, I prefer to be a little more intimate, but these will have to do. The first one's a missile launcher. You're going to want to put some points into this one. Next is the cryo beam, and this is one that will really let you control where the orcs flow. Since they behave like a liquid, you can use the cryo beam to force orcs to move around their comrades, slowing down all of them. Or if it's a thin corridor, you can stop them all together by freezing the orcs leading the charge. The rest of them just gotta wait their turn. Don't sleep on this ability just because it doesn't deal any damage by default. Once you figure out how this works, it can make or break a run. But who gives a shit about that? Next one is a nuke. That did nothing. And lastly is a strafing run, and this one's great for just dealing a fuckload of damage to large groups. It might not kill as many as a nuke does, but a couple hundred dead orcs is a couple hundred dead orcs. Since this is a review, I suppose I should talk about the audio. One soundtrack on repeat. But it's very much a background track, so I never really noticed or got annoyed by it. Sound effects from the towers and abilities are pretty much all there otherwise, and they're all passable. Given how minimalist this game is, I didn't expect much more, and I have no complaints. I do think a nice at the start of a wave would be neat, but oh well. Now for my problems with this game.
Sir, we have bigger problems right
Now, Private, don't fucking interrupt me again or the orcs are gonna be the least of your fucking problems. I get that this is a numbers game. What are the numbers? The numbers going up is supposed to be the whole point, but I feel like the devs missed an opportunity to really lean into the liquid type movement of the orcs here. Basically, to beat this game, it's all about damage output, which is tied entirely to how upgraded your towers are. Placement matters, but if your towers aren't upgraded enough, you simply won't be able to beat some of these levels until you grind out the resources, because you can't kill orcs fast enough. I wish the levels were designed so that clever tower placement was more rewarded, but it doesn't seem that way to me. Now I'm sure there's someone in the comments who's typing out how they beat every level with a single machine gun and a flame tower, and I bet you think you're so smart, don't you? If you're so clever, prove it! I bet you can't comment the numbers on your mom's credit card and the 3 special digits on the back. That's what I thought. Sit back down, you're embarrassing yourself. Speaking of levels, there's only 12 of them, which I must say is disappointing. Yes, the game's only $10, but I did expect more. The skill tree also ended kind of abruptly for me. If this is supposed to be a game about making numbers bigger, why not make the increments endless? At the end of every branch, put a box that we can endlessly dump resources into. Every time we put some into the box, we increase this tower's fire rate, range, or damage. I want to upgrade my machine gun rate of fire so much that it'd make an A10 Warthog green with envy. But I can't. Once the tree is complete, that's it. And once I completed the tree at around the 7-hour mark, I really didn't have any motivation to keep playing. I could start over and complete the tree again, but what's the point? Just wish there was more reason to keep fighting the good fight. Sir! Anyways, there really isn't that much going on here. You drop onto a map, place some towers, and hope you've got enough firepower to make the Emperor proud. And it's all great. Do I recommend this game? Yes, I do. For $10, I don't have much to complain about. I don't know if this game is going to keep getting updates or anything like that. If it does, all the better. But if you like tower defense games, you have no reason to not pick this one up. And if you decide not to fight with me against the Greenskin Horde, then you won't burn with them!